clip of my weekly vlog. Today is Tuesday, July 1st. For me, it is a rest day. I am out walking my dogs. This is Scarlet. I always walk them separately. They don't do well together walking. They're two different paces, and I like to get all my steps in. So today is rest day. I'm gonna be heading later this morning to get adjusted. And then I'll be heading later this afternoon to Destination Dallas. Better Bodies had some new releases, so I get to get with the photographer to shoot the content for the website, which is always a lot of fun. And besides that, I will be resting, just getting my steps in, and then I will be checking in tomorrow morning. Right now I'm checking in twice a week, Wednesdays and Sundays. So before one of the check-ins, I always like to have a rest day. So that will be today and tomorrow. Shoulder and like my ribs on the side, and then just kind of hips, neck. Is the shoulder hurting? It's always really tight on the side, and I have clicking in the shoulder. Yeah. Whatever you want. Today, so I figured I would bring you guys to my first physical therapy. Really just trying to focus on working my ankle, just getting the stability back. I don't think I'm gonna come here all that often, but I figured I'd at least come a couple times, get the exercises, just be able to do them at home. I also got this little footboard. I just found like one on Amazon after I did some research, and it's just this little balancing board that I'll include a little clip of, but it's just, you can move the pieces in different areas to work different muscles in your foot. And so that's, I think, gonna be most of my rehab, just because it's so easy and you can do it just in a few minutes, but like every day. So I'll see what I can get in here. I'm gonna work through half of it and then somebody side off over here. Okay. Are you from Allison? My dad from 2001. Okay. And then I was grad school ETA. Okay, cool. Usually it's 6 years and okay. Do you like it around? Yeah, I was like counting down. Okay, yeah, yeah, originally from Chicago. I just started yeah. I like it. Because I think it's the first more I've ever been. Okay, yeah. 88. Really? It's pretty overcast. It's raining if you outside. Yeah, right. So. I'm so sad. But there's a Houston and Austin, so I'm really down to it's not like it's like adult thing, it's not sharp. It's not like just balance. Let me back on the table and lay
I'm good except for stuff in my bag. I mean,
yeah, he does make cool. And then I worked at when I was undergrad, I worked at a chiropractor's office for 3 years, and then just kind of worked over here.
Opening from my feet.
And did that for years. Legacy 75. Okay. I think a little more for Allison. I think you're great. I live like in town, Dallas. Oh, yeah. This is around, but you're thinking something. You hold this pretty nice and hot. This is gonna save the ball. And you just go straight. Straight down. Straight. Get it hard, give it a go. This is gonna want to pull you back. Give it come back straight. You figure it out? Yeah. No, you don't get to start. So the biggest thing is don't let this go with you. If you want to use this hand, and that's easy. Are you all finished?
I'm resting.
Okay, I'll get the weights off. Do one more.
Okay, sure.
I'm pretty sure you've only done 4 or 5. Okay. Thank you. He has stretches and then he'll be done, okay? I have stretches? You're done. Okay. He has stretches. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Do you have like a warm-up routine before you do your performance stuff?
Like at the show or something. So when I get there and I spend obviously 30 minutes stretching something.
Yeah, right. So what we're doing is we're going to stretch. So you put one foot in the back, take a little bit forward, and one forward. You can that equal. And then for next week, you know what? You should let it back here. 30 seconds, please. Always. You should let me lower down.
Today is costume design day. I just got here, B with Wozniak Collective. She did my costume last year, so I'm super excited to get to do my costume again this year. It's so nice because she's local for me here in Dallas, so I get to come back multiple times and have it fitted just the way I want. I'll come and have it altered if I need to, and I just get to I love that I get to come here and look at the fabrics and choose from so many different options and just pick what I think is gonna actually bring my vision to life. So I will try to record. I will not include the color scheme that I'm going with, but yeah, I'm just super excited because I love this part.
Bumped into it.
Oh,
Yep. It's crying internally. Still in.
okay, I got a little distracted, but I did pick out my fabrics and we talked about my costume, and I'm so excited because I know it's gonna be so good in the fabric. Okay, I just left routine practice and I'm not going to lie, I woke up this morning just in a sour mood. I woke up, I weighed myself, hated it, scale was up, and I felt frustrated just because it's you're doing all the things and I can look at the photos and know that I'm getting better, but when you're not seeing weight loss, when your food is low, it can be frustrating. And the scale is really just a tool, but obviously too, it's just when you're dieting, you should see downward trends. So I felt frustrated. I felt just in a nasty mood, and obviously I've been rehabbing my foot and doing all the things, so it just felt like a lot. It's felt heavy. I went to practice and I was just just go. This is supposed to be the fun part, and I had a plan. I was gonna run it today. Last week I was running it minus 9 skills just because I've been rehabbing my foot. So today the goal was to do it in sections and then do it full out minus 6 or 7 skills. So I was able to add in 3 skills. So I was doing it minus 6 skills. So I warmed up the first half and the second half, and I did each of those halves 3 times. Really working on the music cues, the choreography, all the things. Added in those couple skills. Then I was doing it the whole routine all the way through minus the 6 skills. And it's hard, but it felt pretty good considering everything that's just been going on. So I ran that made me feel really good. And then there was a private that had come in towards the tail end of my practice, and it just kind of fueled me a little bit. They were stopping what they were doing to watch me. They were complimenting me and just telling me that I'm in great shape and all this stuff. And I think sometimes when you have those experiences, you're able to finally just bring yourself back down to reality. You can get really wrapped up in your head in prep, and especially with fitness, doing the skills and all the things. So I left in a much better mood than when I went into practice, so that felt good. And I think it's just sometimes you have to find those things in prep that can pull you out of a crappy mood, you know? And for me, it is fitness stuff. Like, that's the fun stuff. This is what I've done my entire life, like doing gymnastics and doing cheer and getting ready to be a performer and just working on the things that you can control, because sometimes your weight's not going to go the way you want it to. Your physique is, you know, that's more of my coach's responsibility. I try to stay out of it and I try not to analyze it, but just find the things that put you in a good mood. So I left practice. I feel in a much better mood than when I went in. I just have to get some cardio done today, and then I have nothing else to do today, and I'm just going to completely veg out and relax because I just need to get myself in the best headspace. I want to go into next week ready to work, and we're a little less than 14 weeks out. So I think just taking a day to kind of mentally reset and just get myself in a good mood, make sure stuff around the house is taken care of so that next week is just seamless. And I will try to start including more clips of my fitness routine practice, but sometimes it gets hard. I get in there and I just get in my groove, and I'm not going to post my routine in my video, but I will try to include some more clips as the weeks progress, not of the routine, but of just skills as I start practicing. And then in another couple weeks, I'll start adding in a hardwood floor practice. I do just want to wait a couple more weeks until I've done a little more rehab on my foot and just strengthen everything up and just gotten it not so stiff. But overall, I felt good. I was able to do a lot on my foot. I don't have a ton of pain, and I was able to do some standing tucks today. I think really the last thing I'm going to just add in with my foot is like, the last thing I'm going to work on is like my jumps and my tumbling. I'm not really too concerned about those skills because I've done them basically my whole life. So it's just go slow to go fast, make sure that everything's good and I feel confident. And I think that's more of the thing. It's just like, after you're walking around in a boot for 2 weeks, your foot's just kind of stiff and you have to work on that mobility again. And then it's almost just like, I'm a little hesitant going into things, but I don't have any pain. Like today I was doing standing tucks, and that's something that I've done since I was like 15. So for 17 years of my life, I've been able to do a standing back tuck. So I started warming it up on an air track, and it was just air track. I was just like, I had too much power on air tracks. And then I was like, okay, let me go to the rod floor. And I did it there. And I was just like, it's too easy. So then it's like, okay, I'll do it on the spring floor. And it's just crazy how like, I just had to like work myself up out of that mental thing in my head about landing on my foot, but like it didn't hurt at all. It's just my foot's a little stiff. So that was all really, really good. Happy with how practice went. A little less than 14 weeks out from Olympia, and I feel like the routine's definitely on track. In another couple weeks, we'll add in another practice, so I'll be practicing a little more frequently on the soft floor and on the hard floor, just to make sure I'm ready for the stage. But right now I'm just really focusing on the choreography and my endurance and doing all the things that I can control. Okay, happy Sunday. I am here at Destination Dallas. I'm gonna train push, and I have 15 minutes of hit to do. I checked in this morning, so I sent that off. I was up a little bit in weight, which gets in my head, but I'm trying to just let it go. But I looked so much better, so really excited about that. Today is a high day for me, so that's nice because it's Sunday. I'm gonna train, get all my stuff ready for the week, and yeah, I will show you guys what I do for push. So I figured I would bring you guys outside this week to do my weekly recap just because it is so nice. So we are a little less than 10 weeks out from Oklahoma, 14 weeks out from the Olympia. And this week was really busy just with training, cardio. I started physical therapy. There's going to be a clip in here of me getting adjusted as well. So overall, I'm feeling pretty good. I think I mentioned earlier that I'm checking in right now twice a week. So on Sundays and on Mondays with Justin, and just keeping an eye on where everything's at, how everything's trending, how I'm looking, all that good stuff. So I think moving forward, we're going to move away from macros and switch over to a meal plan, which I knew was going to be coming at some point. So that will be an adjustment for me because I've done macros. I was with my last coach for 7.5 years and I did it for 2 years before then. So the past 9.5 years since I really got into bodybuilding and training and all of those things, I've always done macros. So it's going to be a little bit of a change for me, but I'm excited either way. Most of the time I'm eating a lot of the same foods anyway. So I'm not too concerned about that, especially now that we're like in a good groove of things with everything else. Like we switched my training, some of my supplementation, all of those things. So now it's just kind of like a little change to make. It's not this huge, overwhelming change to make. So that's going to be coming here in the next couple days, I'm sure. Training's been going good. The program that he has me on is a 4-day split. So I do legs, back, posterior, and push. Cardio right now is I have 4 30-minute steady state sessions and 2 15-minute HIIT sessions. The HIIT is really good for me just because it helps me work my endurance outside of routine training. But since I was in the boot for 2 weeks, a lot of my training was seated. Last week, I started to be able to incorporate more movements with my leg day. So that was really good. I think in another week or two, I should be back to full force when it comes to doing legs. So that's exciting. None of my other days were really affected too much. Maybe there was a couple exercises here and there that I had to do seated with dumbbells versus cables or something like that. But overall, the days weren't affected. And so that's training, cardio. Diet right now, we're doing a carb cycle, so 3 low days, 1 medium day, and then he'll tell me sporadically when to have a higher calorie day. So that's all been going good. My composition has changed a lot. I will include a photo here just from like May to now, July, so 2 months. My weight hasn't changed that much. And I think even this morning or yesterday, I was having like a little bit of an issue with my weight not moving, just mentally knowing that you're dieting. You want to see the weight, you want to see it trend down. But I did just get a lot of reassurance from not just people around me, but Justin kind of just saying, you know, I think we have to abandon my last stage weight as the target because I am carrying quite a bit more muscle, which it's bodybuilding. So that's the goal, is to put on the size, and that was also my feedback from Sandy, is to come in a little bit bigger. So I think all things considered, we're trending in the right direction. Routine went really well yesterday. Right now I'm practicing once a week. I think in the next week or two, it'll get bumped up to twice a week, but it'll just be one more of like an endurance practice. And then two, the second practice will be like a hardwood floor practice. So I'll practice in shorter sections and just making sure my body's ready for the hardwood floor. Also, since I'm working around my ankle right now, part of that routine training is I've changed how I'm training my routine from how I normally do. And I'm doing it full out just to really train my endurance, my choreography, my transitions, the musicality, the performance aspect, the holds. And each week I'm going to be adding in skills as my ankle recovers. Last week to this week, I went from doing the routine without 9 skills to doing it this week without 6 skills. So the goal is at least 1 or 2 a week, but if I continue to make those progressions, I should be running the routine full out with all my skills in just a few weeks, which would be way ahead of schedule for me. So that would be great. Outside of that, work's been going good. I work from home, I work in finance, so it does keep me busy. And this upcoming week, I will go back and get treatment for my adjustment, my foot, all the things. I'll go back to physical therapy again. I believe I don't have too many other appointments this week. Fingers crossed, because I feel like they always pop up. Right now, my husband works for the police department, and he works midnight to 8 a.m. And his days off are Monday, Tuesday, which is really Sunday night, Monday night. So we're planning on starting to train at the same time on Monday. So he is going to try to help me get some training content just to be able to film it, and I can kind of explain what I'm doing and why. And then the last thing would just be an update. I guess I had last Friday was the PRP injection that I got into my ankle. I've actually noticed quite a bit of difference. I don't have really any swelling. I have really minimal pain in my foot. So for me, it was definitely worth it. I will still give it a couple more weeks before I decide if I'm going to get another treatment on my foot here at the end of the month. If I have any pain, I'm just going to go ahead and do it just because I've had such good results. And we just want to see the progression in my ankle continue to get better. Along with the rehab. So for the next couple of weeks, I will be continuing the rehab and the access board, just the balancing, the at-home rehab, all those things. And the goal is to get it to be pretty close to 100% before I would need the second injection and make the decision from there. So thank you guys. If you made it to the end of this video, like, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you next week.